Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Sunday service for July 20th of 2025. Today's talk is entitled Expressing the Christ in Daily Life. So I want to start with two Bible verses. The first one is from Matthew chapter 5, verse 14. You are the light of the world. And from Colossians chapter 1, verse 27. The Christ in you is your hope of glory. So the last time I spoke about the courage to be the Christ of our being in every given moment. And I shared the following statements. First of all, we have to come to the deeper understanding that we already are the fullness of the Christ. The way of mastery speaks directly to the idea of healing not through effort or struggle, but through surrender and alignment with divine presence, what it calls the energy of being the Christ. And the text repeatedly emphasizes that the Christ is your natural state, perfect, whole, and untainted by illusion. You do not need to become Christ. You only need to remember or recognize that you are already that. And the healing comes from allowing this truth to permeate your awareness, not from any effort to fix yourself. So the first and foremost thing to recognize is that the Christ is a living presence within each and every one of us. Christ is not something outside of us. It's the deepest truth of who we are. And it is the reality that's already alive within each and every one of us, right here and now. The Christ is that spark of divinity that is within each soul. It's love, it's light, it's presence, it is the truth. And once we begin to make that connection and have even a little bit of that awareness, and no, you do not need to have that fully, the more we begin to want to express this in our ordinary lives, in our homes, our work, our relationships, the more peace and healing we bring to ourselves, our communities, we bring to the world. And so the big question is, how can we express more of the Christ within our daily lives? And the first and foremost one is love. In the Gospel of John, Jesus gives us what he calls a new commandment. Love one another as I have loved you. But let's take that even deeper, because this love is not simply affection or kindness. It is unconditional divine love, the kind that sees beyond any behavior, any race, religion, beyond fear. To express the Christ means we choose love over fear again and again and again. When someone cuts us off in traffic, love or fear? When we feel unworthy, do we meet ourselves with love or shame? When we see suffering, do we close off or do we open our hearts? Because love is not a feeling, it is a decision. And that decision is what becomes our practice. Every moment, every interaction becomes an altar where we choose again and again and again, love or fear, Christ or ego. And here's the miracle of doing that. The more you choose love, the more the Christ shines through you. And then the second thing we can do is be in the presence. Christ isn't found in the past or in the future. As Eckhart Tolle states, there is only now. The Christ is alive here and now, in this moment, in this breath, in this room. And Jesus often withdrew into silence to pray. Why? Because in stillness, we reconnect with our source. So if we want to express the Christ more fully, we have to learn to slow down, to pause, to become aware. And this means listening without interpreting, breathing before reacting, noticing the sacred in the ordinary. And something beautiful happens when we become present. We begin to see clearly. We see others with compassion. We hear the still small voice within. And we realize that we are never separate from God. We're only distracted from our awareness of God. So you can just try this with me right now. Just take a deep breath, eyes open, eyes closed, doesn't matter. And bring your attention to your heart. And then make this statement silently to yourself. Christ in me, guide me in this moment. And then just stop. Feel the stillness. And that's where the Christ lives. It's that simple and that easy. So the next thing we want to talk about is we want to talk about forgiveness. Now, Jesus didn't preach forgiveness. He lived it. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. So to express the Christ means to forgive, not because someone deserves it, but because we choose freedom over bitterness. And by the way, when you cannot forgive another for anything, it actually creates a cord between you and the other person. And sometimes that can be like a chain binding the two of you together. So the question is that what you want with this person? To be chained to them? And this, of course, is all energetic. But do you really want to be chained to the person you can't forgive? I really doubt it. But remember also, forgiveness is not about condoning behavior. It's about releasing ourselves from the chains that are holding us to them and to the past. So that includes forgiving ourselves. So many of us carry shame and guilt that blocks out our inner light. But nothing you've done can separate you from the love of God. Absolutely nothing. Forgiveness is the Christ saying to us, you are whole. You are loved. Come home to me. So today, just ask yourself, who needs my forgiveness? What part of myself have I not yet forgiven? And even better yet is, who am I not forgiving that I have actually chained myself to? And then bring the light of Christ to it. Just patiently, gently, willingly. And sometimes you have to say, God, I'm doing my best to forgive. Please help me to forgive even deeper. It's okay to ask for help because God, they can't step in. The angels or guides, they can't step in until we ask them. And the next way to express the Christ is through service. Because the Christ is not only something we feel, it's also something we do. Jesus washed feet, he fed people, he healed, he gave his life in service to love. So expressing the Christ means we serve, not out of duty, but out of joy. And service can be helping someone carry groceries, listening to a friend in pain, smiling at someone at the grocery store, or volunteering for a cause that lights up your heart. And when we serve others, we are serving the Christ in them and awakening it even more in ourselves. So, a beautiful daily prayer is this: Christ, let me be your hands and feet today. Let that guide your day, and your day will become sacred. So, a fifth way of expressing the Christ within: speak your truth with love. Now, the Christ is not silent when truth must be spoken. And Jesus challenged injustice. He called out hypocrisy, but it was always done from love, never from ego. So to express the Christ is to speak with integrity. It means saying what is true, even when it's hard, setting boundaries, but with compassion, and refusing to gossip or harm with our words. Remember, every word you speak carries energy. So make sure you let your words be healing, uplifting, and honest. The Christ in you knows how to speak truth with grace. And of course, always see the Christ in others. One of the greatest practices is to look at everyone you meet and to affirm silently, the Christ in me sees the Christ in you. That person at work that annoys you, Christ in them. The politician you disagree with, Christ is in them. The stranger on the street, the angry teenager, the lonely elder, whoever it is, Christ is in them. Christ is in them always, just the same as Christ is in you, always. And when we train ourselves to see through the eyes of the Christ, the world begins to change, not because it becomes different, but because we do. And finally, embrace joy and gratitude. The Christ is not heavy or burdened. The Christ is joyful, radiant, and free. So let's not forget, part of expressing the Christ is allowing ourselves to laugh, to dance, to celebrate, and to enjoy. Gratitude awakens joy, and joy opens the heart to love. So try this practice. Every morning, write down 3 things you're grateful for. And every evening, thank the Christ within you for something you learned or shared that day. So gratitude is how we say to God, I see you, I see your light in all things. And the more we see it, the more it grows. And to finish off my talk today, I want to cover a couple of things that might help us out. When we say to forgive, when we say to do these things, a lot of times we feel a lot of resistance in ourselves. And for me, I know I've talked about Ho'oponopono before, but to me, it is so easy to do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I had to have you show up the way you are to show me something about myself. Please forgive me. Please forgive me for having you show up this way. I love you. Now, that love may not be at the level that you want it to be, but just saying it starts the process. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Thank you for showing up this way. And you can leave it at that, or I like to end it. And I send us both onto our highest good, which then begins to create a separation, especially if you're courted to the person. It begins to send a separation and start the separation between you and them. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And then I want to talk about Vipassana meditation. Vipassana meditation is a specialized meditation that clears your energy field. It's simple to do, but it is not easy. And what you do is you sit in the space that you're at, and you take a few deep breaths in and out, relaxing your body. And then you sit stone still. It's as if somebody poured concrete over you. You cannot move. You cannot scratch an itch. You can't do anything except breathe in and breathe out. And you breathe the energy in to the top of your head, and then from the top of your head down to the bottom of your feet. And you keep doing this over and over and over again while you sit stone still, no matter what. But I will tell you, after a few moments, all of a sudden, you'll find yourself jerking. You might feel a pain come up. What the pain is energy inside of you. You keep breathing. The pain comes up, the pain comes up, the pain comes up, and all of a sudden you'll feel a jerk and it's gone because that pain was energy that was being held inside of you. And if you were to do this 5, 10, 15 minutes every single night, you will notice energy clearing from your system, and you will find yourself becoming more relaxed, more peaceful, and clearer, more connected to Source itself. Now, that's a very simple explanation of what Vipassana is, but it works wonders. So, what does it mean to express the Christ in daily life? It means we choose love over fear. We choose presence over distraction. We choose forgiveness over resentment. We choose service over self-interest. We choose truth and joy and sacred seeing. Not perfectly, of course, not all at once, but with intention, with humility, with the willingness to be transformed. Because the truth is, and always has been, you are the Christ in expression. You are not here to become something else. You are here to remember who you are. So I'm asking us just to go forth and live from that remembering. Let's let the Christ in us shine, in our words, in our eyes, in our actions, in our choices. Let's be the presence of love in a world that needs light. And let's greet each day with the prayer, let the Christ in me meet the Christ in all. And so it is. Thank you for joining with us today. Many, many blessings to everyone. God bless.